Top 5 Ways to Improve Your World University Ranking. 1. To change a university, you need to change people's incentives. The average academic or administrator in a university is completely unaware of your university's strategy document. If they have seen it, they think it is waffle. So if your strategy is supposed to change behavior, you have to provide new incentives for your staff, and monitor performance from the top. University strategy works best if it is a simple list of key priorities and not an operations manual. Marketing experts may advise us that we need elaborate brochures, but the effect of these on the internal community is questionable. Something glossy may be useful for fundraising purposes, however. 2. To attract the best faculty, you need the best leaders. If raising or maintaining research quality is part of the strategy, hire the best scholars you can and put them in positions of power: Pro-Vice-Chancellor for Research, Dean or Head of Department. The best universities and business schools have been shown to hire the best scholars as their heads. The probable reason is that other great scholars will choose to be there because the culture and values of the place will likely be more amenable under a fellow researcher. Also, a dean who is a successful scholar may feel less threatened by someone famous coming in. Finally, if a dean or pro-vice-chancellor of research is not a good scholar, he or she may have limited credibility and power within the institution. Who would pay any attention to a pro-vice-chancellor with few publications telling other staff to improve the research output? 3. Control quality through hiring panels. The vice-chancellor is the standard bearer, and, therefore, he or she should set the quality threshold in the institution. If you want good hires to be made, then control the process yourself. A head will, and should, delegate, but only after those receiving the delegated powers have proved themselves. Make sure the very best researchers are on hiring and probation committees. Humans tend to select others who are like themselves. A hiring panel made up of grade 2 researchers is unlikely to want to hire a grade 1 researcher. The same is true in academic departments or schools. Why make life difficult for ourselves by hiring people who are much better than us? The status quo is much preferable, at least among the established faculty. The younger ones are more likely to want to raise standards. Create a committee to advise the vice-chancellor that polices all hiring, promotion and probation decisions. Ultimately, if this process is going to work, it has to be driven and monitored by a leader. Finally, and the phase: is there anyone on the list who is appointable? It encourages tolerance for mediocrity. 4. Hire the best. Again, the vice-chancellor should create and drive this process, and be available to talk to potential hires personally, as should the pro-vice-chancellor for research and the head of the recruiting department. As mentioned earlier, the vice-chancellor should sit on major hiring panels or, at the very least, review the candidates. If the university head is at table or prepared to control the people who join and leave, then the game is lost. Don't just advertise. Think about who the perfect candidate might be. Human resources departments could become more active in attracting and keeping the best staff. If you are looking to hire a dean of school or a head of department, stop all new appointments in that department prior to the head arriving, especially key positions such as professorships. The power to make one's own appointments is an important incentive for an incoming head. A new dean should also be able to put in place his or her own top management team. Start schmoozing from the moment you speak to a potential candidate. HR should help department heads by feeding candidates information about local schools and housing options. Wine and dine your top prospects, and whatever you do, don't let the perfect candidate wander around campus alone trying to find a sandwich. 5. Know the talent list and congratulate people. It is inconceivable that a successful commercial organization would not be fully aware of its most talented staff. Find out who they are in your university: researchers, teachers and administrators. Make sure that people on the ground let the vice-chancellor know when someone does something commendable. Then send a congratulatory note. When you reward your teachers, make it generous. Try to let people know that their contribution has not gone unnoticed. An academic's life is lonely. Loyalty, it is often remarked, is to the discipline, not to the university. This is rational. Researchers usually receive positive feedback only from colleagues in their field. Assessment is by their peers, which leads to publishing, promotion and, ultimately, pay. Academics will show loyalty to a university, but the institution must do more than get them to fill in forms. Ensure that one or more members of staff, preferably in the HR department, know exactly who your outstanding people are, and whether they are happy or not. Attracting top staff is a grueling and increasingly expensive process. Be sure to hang on to those you have. Thanks for watching the video. Share video to see it all. Subscribe to my channel.